today we're looking at farming in a way that might surprise you.
Yeah, picture this. Cows eating something called muesli, or trees being used as scratching posts. Sounds a bit different, right?
Definitely, because we're diving into regenerative agriculture.
And this isn't about going backwards. It's being framed as a really forward-thinking, almost revolutionary approach to food production.
That's right. Our deep dive today comes from a really interesting article in Positive News.
It features insights from people right at the heart of this. Tim Mead, a farmer from Yeo Valley Organic.
Niels Corfield, who's an independent regenerative farming consultant.
And also the conservation charity WWF weighs in.
So our mission today is pretty clear. We want to unpack what regenerative agriculture actually is.
How does it work on the ground, in practice?
And why is it getting so much attention now, as a way to heal land, support farmers?
And potentially help tackle climate change, too. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So maybe a good starting point is Yeo Valley Organic. I mean, they were huge in bringing organic food into the mainstream, weren't they?
Absolutely. For decades, they were pioneers there.
And now the article says they're onto a second revolution. Moving into regenerative farming. That feels like a significant shift for such a big name.
It really is. And at its heart, regenerative farming, well, it boils down to a few core ideas.
Okay.
They sound simple, almost deceptively so. It's about keeping the soil undisturbed as much as possible.
Undisturbed. Yeah.
Making sure it's always covered with vegetation, that it's rich in living roots.
Living roots. Okay.
And that it's full of diverse crops, different things growing together in rotation.
And these aren't just small tweaks, are they?
No, not at all. The idea is that these shifts fundamentally change how the soil functions. They're designed to lock up more carbon.
The carbon piece. Crucial.
Exactly. And to restore that whole delicate ecosystem within the soil, the bugs, the fungi, the microbes.
That hidden world beneath our feet.
Yeah. And when that ecosystem is healthy and thriving, the crops can grow strong without needing synthetic fertilizers.
You know, Tim Mead, the farmer, has this great way of putting it. He calls it growing muesli for cows.
Huh. Muesli for cows. I like that.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? He's talking about companion planting, seeing things like barley, peas, and oats all growing happily side by side in the same field.
It's such a different image from the monocultures we often see.
Totally. And that companion planting, it brings real benefits, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Beyond just looking nice, having that diversity makes the whole system more resilient, against pests, diseases. And the peas, for instance, they're really important because they naturally fix nitrogen in the soil.
So they're fertilizing the ground themselves, basically.
Exactly. Improving soil health naturally. It's this powerful synergy.
But it also makes you think about Mead's warning. He puts it pretty starkly.
What does he say?
He says, you could argue that every farmer who is degrading their soil is on a runway. And at some point, that runway runs out.
Wow, that's blunt.
It is. He follows it up with, it's not a question of if they have to start regenerating it, it's when.
Which really does raise a big question. If the need is that urgent and the principles seem fairly logical, why aren't more farmers jumping on board? What are the hurdles?
That's a key point, that urgency. And it connects to something that often raises eyebrows in these discussions. Livestock.
Yes, the role of animals.
For some people, bringing animals into sustainable farming systems feels, well, counterintuitive maybe. How does that fit with regenerative goals?
It's a fair question, but actually, livestock are often integral to these systems. What's fascinating is how different elements work together.
Okay, how so?
Well, when you put livestock onto diverse pastures with a mix of herbs, grasses, legumes...
Not just plain grass.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That diversity itself is key. The different plants have varied root structures.
Then that matters because?
Because those roots help break up compacted soil, which in turn dramatically improves how well the soil holds water.
I see. Better water retention.
Crucial. And then the animals themselves, through their grazing and, their manure and trampling plants into the ground, they naturally fertilize and enrich the soil.
So it's a cycle. The plants feed the animals help the soil helps the plants.
You got it. It's really about harnessing nature's design.
But I can almost hear the skepticism. Some might say, okay, fine, but isn't this just like old-fashioned farming? Sounds nice, but surely it means lower yields.
Yeah, the productivity question.
Does it really stack up against modern, high-input agriculture? Or are we trading productivity for these environmental benefits?
That's where Niels Corfield, the consultant, comes in. He tackles this head-on. He stresses This isn't misty-eyed nostalgia. It's the future.
Strong words. The future, not the past.
Exactly. His point is that as you improve the health of the land, it doesn't become less productive. It actually becomes more productive.
More? Really?
Yes, it can support more animals, yield more. He says, quite clearly, surpluses just appear, and adds, there's a significant reduction in the cost of production across the board.
Wow. So higher yields and lower costs. That sounds like a farmer's dream.
It does, and he uses this amazing analogy to describe the effect. He says, it's like somebody put a greenhouse over your land and shoved it 2 degrees south while irrigating it at the same time.
Okay, that paints a vivid picture of transformation.
It really does. It flips the script entirely. It suggests regenerative farming isn't just environmentally sound, it can be economically powerful too, redefining what efficiency means.
So let's get more specific then. How is Yeo Valley Organic actually doing this? You said it's a natural progression for them.
Yeah, they see it flowing logically from their, 3 decades in organic farming. It's the next step.
And one practice they use is something called mob grazing. What's that?
Right, mob grazing. Basically, they keep their livestock grouped together in a fairly dense herd.
Okay.
And they move them frequently, sometimes up to 4 times a day, onto fresh sections of pasture.
4 times a day. That sounds intensive.
It is, in terms of management, but the idea is to mimic how wild herds, like bison, would graze. Short, intense periods of grazing, then moving on, allowing the pasture-long rest periods.
And the effect?
Healthier grass, more abundant growth. And crucially, it feeds and nourishes all those microbes in the soil we talked about. It keeps the whole system buzzing.
It's a constant cycle of renewal then.
Precisely.
And beyond the grazing, they have some serious carbon goals too, right?
They do. Very ambitious. They're actively tracking the carbon levels in their soil.
Measuring it.
Yeah, measuring it. With the aim of increasing carbon sequestration by 25% on their farmland.
25%. That's significant.
It is. And the ultimate goal is to make the entire Yeo Valley business carbon neutral. That's a huge undertaking.
It really is. And leads to some fascinating stories, doesn't it? Like the one about the dock beetles.
Ah, yes, the dock beetles. It's a great example of learning from nature.
So what happened there? Docks are weeds, right?
Yeah, common grassland weeds. And for years, Yeo Valley did what most farms do. They topped the grassland, essentially mowing it to control the docks. Standard practice.
Okay, makes sense.
But then Mead started thinking differently. He realized that by constantly topping, they might actually be disrupting nature's own controls.
Like getting in the way.
Exactly. So they stopped topping in certain areas, they let the docks grow a bit, and guess what happened?
The beetles came back.
The dock beetles returned. And Mead says they absolutely shredded our docks. Nature's pest control unleashed.
Wow, so the solution was there all along, they just had to stop interfering.
Pretty much. And Mead is very honest about it. He reflects, I think I'm a fairly logical person, but for 25 years, we wasted time and energy doing what we thought was right. In fact, it was wrong.
That's quite an admission. It really shows the power of observation, of working with natural systems, not just imposing our will on them.
It absolutely does. Humility in the face of nature's complexity.
And this focus on diversity, it's not just about the fields, is it? It's showing up in their products, too, like introducing beef burgers.
That's right. It might seem like just another product line, but Mead connects it directly to the farming system.
How so?
He calls it a natural extension to showcase products from a farming system that we believe in. It reflects the diversity they're building, diversity in cattle breeds, diversity in the fields, diversity in crops. It's not just about milk anymore.
It connects to the whole picture.
Exactly. And that bigger picture includes agroforestry or silvopasture.
Trees and animals together.
Yeah, integrating trees into farmland and pastures. Yeo Valley has a really ambitious target here, aiming for 1,000 acres of silvopasture.
1,000 acres. That's huge.
It could potentially be one of the largest projects of its kind in Britain.
And what's the benefit of the trees for the animals, beyond the obvious environmental ones?
Well, Mead observes that the cattle just seem more content. The trees offer shelter, shade.
Scratching posts.
And scratching posts, yeah. It sounds simple, but it's about creating a richer, more stimulating, more natural environment for them. A holistic approach.
It all seems to fit together so logically when you lay it out. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. The bigger picture. What's the wider potential impact of regenerative farming? Beyond just one farm, even a big one like Yeo Valley.
Well, this is where the WWF findings come in, and they're pretty striking.
Okay.
They suggest that if regenerative methods were adopted more widely in the UK, by 2030, they could cut greenhouse gas emissions by an amount equivalent to taking nearly 1 million cars off the road.
1 million cars. That's substantial.
It really is. And what's fascinating is how the WWF frames these changes. They call them easy wins.
Easy wins, really. It sounds quite complex.
Well, easy in the sense that the potential is there and the methods exist. And crucially, they highlight the huge co-benefits for nature, water, air, and people. It's not just about carbon.
So it's presented as a win-win-win situation.
Pretty much. A comprehensive solution with multiple positive outcomes.
Which brings us back to that earlier question. If the benefits are so clear, if even major conservation groups see it as easy wins, why the slow uptake? Tim Mead points to mindset as the main barrier.
Yeah. And that's a huge factor.
But why is mindset such a hurdle?
Well, Mead himself acknowledges this is a long game. He says, it's taken 150 years to mess things up. Really, it's not going to take 5 years or 10 years to put it all back. It's going to take much longer.
Right, undoing decades, even centuries of conventional thinking and practice.
Exactly. You're dealing with deeply ingrained habits, established economic models, perceived risks.
Fear of the unknown, maybe.
Absolutely. Farmers are often locked into certain ways of doing things by market pressures, existing equipment, subsidies, even just the knowledge passed down through generations.
So shifting that mindset isn't just about presenting facts.
No, it requires trust. It requires seeing tangible success stories. It probably needs financial support or de-risking mechanisms during the transition.
And Yeo Valley is trying to help with that, with their own suppliers.
They are. They're actively working with their 150 dairy suppliers, sharing what they're learning about soil tests, about using diverse pastures, these herbal lies, about composting, advanced grazing techniques.
So trying to bring others along on the journey.
Yeah, it's a slow process of sharing knowledge and building confidence, tackling that mindset barrier bit by bit.
You know, one really exciting aspect of this whole regenerative movement, seems to me, is its potential to bridge divides.
How do you mean?
Well, the conversation around farming and the environment can get pretty polarized, right? Conservation versus agriculture.
Definitely, often pitted against each other.
But regenerative farming seems to offer common ground, a way for both sides to potentially win. And for farmers, maybe a chance to rebuild trust with the public.
I think that's spot on. And Tim Mead touches on exactly that. He sounds quite hopeful.
What does he say?
He says farmers are looking for something that people can be positive about. And the answer is regenerative agriculture.
Finding the positive story.
Yeah. And he adds, I think our relationship with consumers can be rebuilt quickly and made really strong. Because this time, farmers are part of the solution.
Part of the solution.
Yeah.
That's a powerful shift in perspective. Not the problem, but a key part of fixing things.
Exactly. It reframes the whole narrative.
So, wrapping this up, the message seems clear. Regenerative agriculture isn't about some romantic notion of the past.
Not at all.
It's being presented as a practical, potentially more profitable, and definitely ecologically vital way forward for how we produce food.
It really emphasizes working with nature, seeing it as an ally, not something to be conquered or controlled, nature as the ultimate partner.
Right, which leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought perhaps. Given these clear benefits we discussed, the potential for this win-win scenario for farmers, nature, and climate, how might your own understanding of what's natural or efficient in farming start to shift?
That's a good question. It challenges some assumptions.
And if that understanding does shift, what responsibility might that imply for you? Whether as a consumer making choices or just as a citizen thinking about how we support our agricultural systems going forward.
Yeah. How do we collectively encourage and support this kind of transformative future for farming? Lots to think about there.